titles, somebody talks for 5 minutes and then says, yes. So basically, how do you bridge the gap between new content models and new product models and an old, creaky, established distribution model, and maybe even the influencer is using it in the classroom's reticence to even try to use it? How do you bridge that? I know, Michael, you're the only one who really comes from education, but what's your thoughts?
I think the last part, now that we both can summarize, the teacher is a critical piece there, and I think the problem I hear time and time again that talk with different educational publishers is reaching the teacher, because having been in the classroom, and I'll give you my first classroom experience as a full-timer, 5 different preps a day, 25 to 30 students per class, right? So I was overwhelmed all the time. Just simply what is it? Overwhelmed until the end, and then you breathe at night for long enough to eat and you do it again. So the idea of introducing anything new overwhelms many, and so the value-added proposition has to be one where you're going to basically find 2 or 3 great examples to start to build that and brand it out. Is the only way in the short term I could possibly think to even start to bridge that gap, to show them that the league isn't that big, to get teacher advocates to talk to teachers. It's that kind of approach. The earlier presentation today from the one that discussed the massive name, the Fisker tiers. Yeah, it's exactly the same kind of where we have crafters talking to crafters. It's a community side. It's really the same thing that we all understand on versions of that. Teachers don't have much of a community yet, and where the industry itself is lagging behind in many respects, and chalkboards and laser discs. The notion of community building teachers, helping teachers, is a fairly new thing. I'm exceptionally popular when I show up in any classrooms because I'd like somebody to help. You're going to help me? I said, well, sure. I got an energy to burn. What can I do? And they're so happy to actually have someone who understands the problem legitimately, and then that back and forth. So that I think is probably your best avenue.
The other thing you've got working for you, honestly, is the aging teacher population in some respects. In 18 states, more than 50% of the teachers are over age 50, according to a NECTAF analysis that was released earlier this year. The average age of teacher retirement is 59. You got a lot of teachers who are under the age of 32 who are coming in who understand this stuff, and that will probably work for you.
Well, and there's one other piece, and that is the technology curve, because the classrooms that I taught in the public sector had a few computer labs, maybe a computer or 2 per room, where now most of the students have access to some form of technology. Largely the cell phone penetrates all, but that moves towards the iPhone and then out towards netbooks, which are cheap, and they're almost free. So as you start to look at the ability to get more technology in the hands of more people, is that flexibility thing that really needs.
All right, John?
Yeah, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about what's coming next. So, for example, I wasn't sure if the screen capture device only did black and white or the Kindle. So, if we're going into the lower grades, color is critical and actually is pretty important, and even in high school. And I'm wondering in terms of what you think the next kinds of developments will be.
So I guess that's me.
To start, yes. I have to repeat that. I'm sorry. In the lower grades, color and exciting, wonderful animation things and fluffy bunnies and happy sounds are very important. And many of the devices now that are portable we're talking about don't necessarily handle that at all ages well. So what is the future of learning platforms? Laura?
I agree that color can be important. I would say, though, that teen and children's books are some of our fastest growing categories on Kindle. So there are a lot of early readers, frankly, that are black and white on the inside, and they look fabulous on Kindle, and all is good there. That being said, we'd love to have color. The e-ink technology is not there. They keep, we look at it, we've looked at it in the lab, and they always say it's sort of 2 years away, but they said that 2 years ago and 2 years ago before that. And there are a lot of great things about e-ink, in that it's great for battery life, it doesn't get hot, it's not, it's easy to read in sunlight, and for a long form reading, so reading for long periods of time, it is the right solution now. I don't know when a similar comfortable reading experience will be available in color. That being said, on your Kindle books on your iPhone are in color. And so the book that is on your, that you have and you read on your reading device, it's black and white here, but it's in spectacular color here. And so, back to this idea, there are multiple platforms in which you do different things at different times. So whether you're reading on your laptop or reading on your iPhone in color, and when you're sitting out on a beach, or you're on a plane, or where you're reading for long extended periods of time, the black and white device might work great. So there's a lot of flexibility there. I wouldn't say it's coming in e-ink next year.
There have also been rumors, and Laura will not comment